Alright, so, but what we need to do with these batteries in order to keep them topped off, because Ruby has those gel batteries that are like 10 years old, almost 12 years old. And that's because those batteries have been on a smart charger all their life. And that's why they're still alive. They're 100% gel, not AGM. Because I bought some AGMs and I replaced them, and it didn't really like it. The voltage wasn't going up, so which I need to buy some AGMs once they do go. So the issue that I'm having, and it's not a real issue, it's factory, but me, now that I understand batteries, uh, is that the starter batteries, it comes with two Optima batteries, which are AGM, and I have the yellow tops. I think I have the yellow top, which is dual, deep cycle and starter battery. You can use them as either or. So the problem is that the alternator will only reach 14 volts because of those gel batteries. It's trying to keep those gel batteries safe. But those batteries, an AGM battery needs to reach 14.5 at absorption, which is a smart charger will do absorption stage at 14.5 on an AGM battery. But those batteries will never see that if I don't hook it up to my smart charger, because the smart charger that's in Ruby is made for gel, so it's only gonna go 14 volts and that's it. And then it'll go into float mode. So, and I think it's 13 volts on this one because it's always like 13 volts. So that's what I've been doing here lately. I have my smart charger, the Power Mania, the Turbo M212, because it's two bank at 12 amps, and so that's how I did an actual absorption stage charging. I went through all the three stages, the bulk, and then absorption, and then right now it's at float mode because it's been there almost 24 hours. And so it's keeping the voltage at like 13.4 is what it was this morning when I went home. When I went to work. So now here's the other thing. The other issue that I've been dealing with on the Blue Bus is that I didn't have a way to charge the house batteries for years. Ever since I bought it, it's like, oh man, I haven't figured out how to charge those batteries. And so I finally ordered that Power Mania smart charger, the M212E, for those batteries, but I didn't have power. So for the trip to Georgia, I ran an extension cord under the bus and all the way to the back. And I plugged it in, but one of the fuses blew, and so my batteries were not keeping 12 volts, and I was so confused. I was blaming the charger. Turns out that a few days ago, after coming back, I checked everything, and it's a fuse. It was blown. I already replaced it. I'm using it to do a deep charge on Ruby right now. That's what I was talking about earlier. So I've got that figured out. When we're parked, when the generator's running, or when we're plugged to shore power, now I'm going to have a smart charger that's going to do some real deep charging on those AGMs. By the way, they're AGMs, AD batteries, some huge batteries. And so, but I'm planning on getting an onboard DC to DC converter charger. It's a smart charger that runs off of your 12 volt system. And so that's what I'm going to run when I'm on the highway. When I'm on the highway, I'm going to have a switch, clack, and that's when I'm on the highway and I am not using the generator, right? So I'm on the highway, I'm using the bus AC. There's a small inverter feeding some of the 120 volt outlets. But the charger, I want to have an onboard DC to DC charger turn it on, and it's gonna be charging those house batteries in case someone's using the light or whatever. The house batteries feed several things like the water pump and some lights and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have that charging that, and then when I get home, when I run in the actual power off of a generator, it'll do deep charging off of the smart charger, the Power Mania. Now, so on the bus batteries, these are regular lead acid flooded batteries, AD batteries. Now those I'm planning on putting on the or adding a smart charger that's going to keep them topped off when we're parked. It's going to do that deep cycle, the bulk, and then it's going to take them to 14.5 volts, because the alternator doesn't do that. Alternators keep voltage at like 14.1. And so we need these batteries to stay at the absorption stage on a smart charger at 14.5, 14.6 for 4 hours. And then the smart charger drops and it takes them back to float mode and keeps them at 13.4 volts. So because again, batteries cannot be fully charged with just your alternator. I mean, you never do. And so that's why putting them on a smart charger is the smart thing to do. So I also learned, somebody mentioned that a charge controller for solar is actually a smart charger, right? And so I can also have that. I'm going to add some panels, some solar panels on the roof with a charge controller for those house batteries. I think that's even going to be better than an onboard DC to DC converter charger. So I'm really going to start looking into that, because I love the idea of having those batteries charging while we're on the highway. Very nice. Not just on the highway, but as we're parked. We might not even need the smart charger, because even as we're parked, the solar panels are going to keep those batteries fully charged. So I just need to get the right controller for AGM, and I'm good to go. Yeah, nice.